Hello viewers. In this chapter, we are going to discuss some core concepts related to work, power and energy. Let us start with work. In physics, the concept of work is very specific. We can apply some force and we are able to displace the object in the direction of force. Then it is said work is done by the force on the object. If the direction is not exactly along the direction of the force, then we have to consider the component of the force along the direction of the displacement as the effective force. So, in a generalized form, we can write W equal to F cos theta S, where W represents the amount of work done, F stands for the applied force, S is the displacement of the body caused by the application of force. Theta is the angle between the force and displacement. The above equation can be written in vector dot product formalism as W equal to F dot S. Using the concepts of dot product, we can also evaluate work done if force and displacement is given in vector form with components. Work done by a force on an object or body can be positive, negative or zero. When we push an object and it moves along the direction of force, then it is said that work done is positive. Here, in general, if we focus on W equal to Fs cos theta equation, we can say if theta value lies within 90 degree, then work done is positive. Again, in the same case of pushing some object, we are actually working against the force of friction. Hence, work done by the force of friction on the object or body is negative because the object is moving in the opposite direction to the force of friction. We can also see theta value in this case must be more than 90 degree. Probably the most interesting of them is when we feel we have applied force and caused displacement, but net work done on the object by the applied force becomes zero. Let's again focus on the equation first. W equal to F cos theta S. Work done can be zero in various ways. Either F can be zero, that is, we do not apply any force, or S can be zero, that is, we are unable to displace the object, or theta can be 90 degree, that is, the direction of force and displacement are in mutually perpendicular direction, or in other words, no component of force in the direction of motion. As an example, when we carry a briefcase from one place to another, we apply force in the upward direction, but we move the briefcase in forward direction. So, the applied force and the direction of motion are mutually perpendicular. Hence, in this case, the work done will be zero. Now, let us evaluate the work done against frictional force under various circumstances. At first, let us consider the movement is on a horizontal surface. In this case, the direction of force and displacement is the same. So, work done can be evaluated easily using W equal to F cos theta S equation. Here, F is to be replaced with the force of kinetic friction, which is mu k times normal reaction or mu k mg. Therefore, work done against the force of friction in this case will be W equal to mu k mg s. Next, let us consider we have to move an object up over an inclined surface. Here, the force of friction is acting downwards, and in addition to this, a component of weight of the object is also opposing against the applied force. Here, all the forces related to this movement are resolved into components, and we can see the force required for upward movement is mg times sin theta plus mu k cos theta. Hence, the total work done for moving the object up over an inclined surface is W equal to mgs times sin theta plus mu k cos theta. Similarly, we can evaluate the work done when an object is moving downward over an inclined surface. In this case, the frictional force will be in the upward direction and the work done against the frictional force is going to be W equal to mgs times mu k cos theta minus sine theta. So far, we have considered that the applied force remains constant, but in real life, we often see the applied force are not constant. Here, we have represented the profile of force being applied on an object, causing the object to move from point A to point B. To evaluate the work done by the force, we can divide the profile into very small segments, where we can consider the direction of force remains nearly the same. Under these circumstances, we can calculate the total work done as W equal to sum over I equal to 1 to n Fxi delta xi. Here, the direction is assumed along x-axis only. Now, if we are able to narrow down the interval to infinitesimally small sections, then we can replace the summation by an integration. Now the work done will be W equal to integration from a to b f dot dx. In a generalized expression, the work done can be represented as W equal to integration from a to b f dot ds. Now let us learn the definition of power. The rate at which an agent can do work is called power. The faster a given amount of work can be done by an agent, the greater is its power, and vice versa. From the above definition, we can express power equal to work done upon time. Now, we know W equal to F dot S. By rearranging, we can rewrite T equal to F dot V. Hence, power transferred in a body can also be expressed as a dot product of the applied force and the velocity of the body. Now let us move to energy. The energy of a body is defined as the ability or capacity of that body to do work. We are mainly going to discuss mechanical energy here, which is associated with the motion and the position or configuration of mechanical systems. Mechanical energy is of two types. First one is kinetic energy, another one is potential energy. The energy possessed by a body by virtue of its motion is termed as kinetic energy. Suppose a force F is applied on an object of mass m is responsible for changing its velocity from v1 to v2. We know the expression for work done, and for simplicity, let us consider force and displacement are in the same direction. So, work done can be written in the form W equal to MAS. Now from equation of motion, we know v2 square minus v1 square equal to 2as. Using mathematical substitutions, we can show W equal to half m v2 square minus half m v1 square. Now this work done is equal to the kinetic energy gained by the object. If we consider initial velocity v1 equal to 0 and after application of the force its velocity changes to v2 equal to v, then the previous equation becomes W equal to half mv square. This is a simplified expression for the kinetic energy of an object moving with velocity v. We can also express kinetic energy in terms of momentum. The relation between kinetic energy and momentum is shown here. This equation shows that if linear momentum of the body is constant, then its kinetic energy T is inversely proportional to its mass. The graph between kinetic energy and mass is shown here. If the kinetic energy of the object is constant, then the linear momentum is directly proportional to the square root of the mass. The graph between momentum and mass is shown here. If the mass of the body is constant, then its kinetic energy is proportional to the square of the momentum. The graph between kinetic energy and momentum is shown here. Now let us evaluate potential energy for the gravitational system. Here, the amount of work done is evaluated as the work done against the gravitational force. Here the force is mg and the displacement of the object is h. Hence, the work done can be expressed as W equal to mgh. This much amount of work done is stored as potential energy on the object. Next, let us evaluate the potential energy for a spring mass system. Here, potential energy is achieved due to the deformation of the spring. Here the force is kx, where k is force constant of the spring. For the displacement x, the net work done will be integration over kx dx, that is equal to half kx square. This much amount of work done will be stored as potential energy when the spring is deformed from its equilibrium. At next, let us discuss the work energy theorem. According to work energy theorem, the work done by net force acting on a body is equal to the change in the kinetic energy of the body. The derivation is similar to that of getting an expression for kinetic energy. Here, in this case, calculus is used to calculate the work done, and it is observed that change in kinetic energy of an object is equivalent to the amount of work done on the body. Now let us discuss the concept of conservative forces. If the amount of work done in moving an object against that force is independent of how the object moves from its initial to final position, then the force concerned is termed as conservative force. In the figure, it is shown that the object can be lifted from the ground to some higher position in three different ways. But in each of the cases, work done is the same. Hence, the force concerned here is a conservative force. Now let us discuss conservation of mechanical energy. In this case, one object is lifted at some height h from the ground level and work is done against gravity. At the top position, the object has a potential energy mgh, and as its velocity is 0, it is going to have zero kinetic energy. At some arbitrary distance x down from the top, its potential energy becomes mg times h minus x. And using the equation of motion, we can calculate the velocity of the object at that position, and in turn we can calculate the kinetic energy. It is found that kinetic energy becomes mgx. Similarly, just before hitting the ground, we can show all the potential energy gets converted to kinetic energy. It is clear from the outcomes that total energy remained constant. To summarize, in this chapter, we have discussed the core concepts of work, power, and energy. We have evaluated the expressions for kinetic and potential energies for various cases. We have also discussed work energy principle, conservative force, and conservation of mechanical energy.